Hey guys, it's Scott from Horse Race Down. Let's talk about Mystik Dan. Do I think he can win the 2024 Preakness? But before we get on, talk about some contender updates that came out today. Catch of Freedom from Brad Cox looks like it's going to be pointed towards the race. And Tuscan Gold scratched out of Peter Pan. He's going to be pointed to the race from Chad Brown. So that's two very good horses to add to the field. And if they both stick, it's going to make for a really good betting race. But let's get right on in the video. And can Mystik Dan win the Preakness? And for my betting money, my answer is going to be no. I'm going to play against him. Now, for those of you that like him, I won't be shocked if he won the Preakness, but I'm going to lay out the reason why I'm going to play against him. And number one is going to be Thoroughgraph. Was nice enough to give us the Thoroughgraph numbers for Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks on their website. So you get to see that Mystik Dan ran a 3 as a Thoroughgraph for the Derby. And going back through history, horses that generally win the Kentucky Derby don't improve that Thoroughgraph number into the Preakness. Yeah, kind of my reason behind it kind of takes an all-out effort from the Derby. So, the horse don't really have a leg to get better. If anything, they're going to stay the same, or it took something out of them to make them worse. And you're going to have a fresh Muth in this race from Bob Baffert. And I think Baffert's going to have a sour taste in his mouth from not being in the Kentucky Derby. And for him, I think this is his Kentucky Derby. So I think you're going to get the very best version of Muth. And if you get that very best version of Muth, I don't think Mystik Dan really has a chance. There is a couple other horses that kind of intrigue me that I'll be playing that's, not Mystik Dan. And one's going to be Just Still. He got caught up in the pace stool in the Derby, then faltered out. But if he does come back to win, the pattern kind of remind me of an old D. Wayne Lucas horse, Flying Private, from 2009 that completely flopped in the Derby and then came back and matched his top in the Preakness. And if Just Still can come back and match that top that he ran, it's going to make him very tough to beat, or definitely put him at getting at least a second place finish. And that'd be good for an exacta, one that I think you're going to see about 20-1 on. And then the other is going to be Seize the Greg, one of the Pat Day Mile. And I have a lot of respect for horses that are not in one of the Triple Crown races that come back on that short turnaround. Is trainers don't have to put them in that race. So for me, for them to do it kind of says they think the horse is doing well. And I respect that, and certainly actually Seize the Greg going under the radar a little bit. And, Mystik Dan, both his wins kind of came on the rail. And, we'll have to see where he draws. If he gets the outside post, I imagine he's not going to get a rail trip. And the horse is not, always the most consistent in the world. I think he's got 4 wins from 9 starts or something. He's not even won half his races. So, history kind of says he's going to be due for a loss. Never repeated back-to-back wins. Uh, you know, Lately the history's been on the side of horses coming, new shooters into the Preakness. Seemed like since about 2019 or so, that trend has kind of, went to new shooters, and Derby horses hadn't done as well. Not really sure why. Is I think the cream of the crop, normally runs the Derby. Of course, you have some outliers like when Rich Strike decided not to run in the Derby. The Preakness, and then cases like that. But it does seem like new shooters done better in recent years. But I want to be playing against Mystik Dan in the Preakness, and you can comment down in the comments section. What are you going to be doing, Mystik Dan? How are you going to be playing the Preakness? What do you think of the field? And thanks for watching, y'all. Plenty more to